Hi and welcome to this video log with me, Wayne, from swimmingcyclingrunning.com. Well, over the years there's been a lot discussed about running, and specifically where the foot lands, forefoot, heel strike, and about running cadence. And that's what this video is about. Lance, my son, came out to Cape Verde with us and we were doing a batch of training before we tapered down for Cozumel, the World Championships for him. And one of the things I wanted to do was get his running right before we go, so he had time to practice a better form of running. And the way we wanted to do it, the way I wanted to do it, was to see if we could increase his cadence in running, in other words the steps per minute, in order to place his foot in a better place when he lands, and therefore make it easier for him to maintain a high pace when actually doing competition. I think we've managed to do that, but let's go to the computer and have a look at what we were doing and why we were doing it.
Okay, so here we are about to watch Lance run, and I'm going to run it through at full speed. And what I'd like you to do is effectively listen to the footfall that he has as he runs. We'll just listen to that. So what we want to do is try and analyse why that slapping noise, the excessive slapping, is happening. And I think we can see as Lance just about strikes a footfall here, we can see that his legs, his knees are quite far apart. And if we take it on a couple of strides, that landing position means that his foot is actually in front of his knee. We don't really want that. We either want the foot under the knee or the actual whole foot under the centre of gravity. So either way will do. Take it forward another couple of strides. And you can see that that foot is landing ahead slightly of the knee. And that means that to affect the stride, so that's there. That's very close to actually just landing. To affect the stride, he now has to bend the knee excessively and then drive up. So you can see that bend and drive. But also as the knee bends, we have something else happening. If we watch it here, we have a collapse of the hip. So you can see the hip position there is like that. And as the knee lands, the hip collapses and goes sideways that way. Which is something, again, it adds to the contact time on the ground and means he has to work very hard to drive himself up and forward again. Both things that we're obviously going to try and eliminate. At that point, Lance is doing about 165 strides per minute, and I think would be better off if he raised that to about 180. So what we're trying to do is to get Lance to run at a slightly faster steps per minute, the faster cadence. And if you look here, what we've done is we've actually put a Retrognome on his hat. You can see that there. The Retrognome effectively clicks out a beat, and that beat is what we want him to hit his feet on the ground to. And we've set that to 180. And he's just trying to learn to get used to it at the moment with about 100-metre runs. You can see that foot now is landing slightly further back than it was before. And so's that foot, and certainly he's not having to drive off the back foot so much, but he's still getting used to it. We have to see how this works over a little bit of time in, as I say, about 100-metre runs. But as he practices this initially, we've still got that slap, but you can see a difference in his stride already. As we move towards the end of the session, Lance became a lot happier at that cadence. You can see here he's running quite smoothly, and you can see that footfall, and that footfall is a lot further under his body and under his centre of gravity, and he's a lot less slappy than he was before. It looks a much more complete runner. We'll just run this through again for you to show you what I mean. It's coming from quite far back. As I say, this is about 100-150 metre runs that we were doing it with. But slowly but surely you get used to that cadence. Now you can up your cadence if you want with the Retrognome by 5 steps per minute. We decided to do this as about 10 to 15 for Lance to try and get him into shape.
Okay, so over time we're looking to change Lance's cadence. That changing cadence is bringing his foot backwards on landing, meaning he's landing his foot under his knee and more under his centre of gravity, and he's actually not having to sink down and drive off. We're doing that by the use of a Retrognome in this particular case. But all effectively a Retrognome is a metronome, and that's what this is clicking out. This is clicking out 153 beats per minute at that. But you can use a metronome if you really want. That's one for music. I say this one's easy because it's attached to his hat. But you can also get one for your smartphone, and here's one. Now you might be surprised, but that's actually clicking out at 160 beats a minute. And 150 to 160 is what most normal people run at, and we're looking at 180 there. So let's just click it up to 180. There's a subtle difference, but if you can run at that sort of cadence, you're actually going to run much more fluid and be able to keep that going for longer, because it actually takes less effort overall. Initially, you may find that your glutes and your hamstrings are tired. That means they need strengthening. You should do strengthened work. Let's just switch that off. You should do strength work using heavy weights and actually lifting weights to improve the strength of your glutes and your hamstrings. Once you've done that, you should be able to cope with 180. Slowly but surely raise it if you wish by 5 steps per minute. But you can take your smartphone out with you, a metronome, or the sturdy Retrognome, which is also good in the pool. Either one of those will do exactly the same job for you. Consider it for yourself. See what it feels like. Don't try and go out for a 5k run. That won't work. You've got to do it over short distances where you know you can keep that momentum going for, let's say, 100, 150 meters. Then extend it. Then do a brick session where you have the metronome or Retrognome along with you. You come off the bike and bang, 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 bang. That's the kind of cadence you're trying to keep. Okay, that's all for this week. Hopefully you found that useful. If you have, give us a thumbs up, a like on the video. All right, keep well. See you soon. Have good training and good race.